All right, here is the biggest airdrop alpha for this week. I'll start off with the newest thing that just popped up on my radar, which is that Bungie, the interoperability protocol / bridge, just launched their own points system. They're calling points balls. You can go to this website here and check to see how many balls or points that you can claim with each wallet that you've ever used Bungie with. So once you actually connect your wallet, sign a message, you can click this button to collect them or to claim them. So we'll see what happens with this one. I think that it's probably not super close to actually dropping a token since they're just launching this new points system today. But yeah, another piece of alpha is that Babylon, the Bitcoin staking protocol, is opening up a new phase for staking. So if you want to, you can set your calendar. It's going to be on October 9th at 11 a.m. UTC time. And if you're using the Rumor application, this will be in the calendar and you can also add it to your task list. Now, I'll leave a link to this down below because they talk about exactly what you need to do in order to prepare for this. The TLDR is that there's actually going to be increased limits, but also reduced fees. So this is one point of this that's definitely nice. I tried to get in the first deposit cap. I missed it and I ended up wasting probably 50 bucks or so trying to actually get into it. But on the other hand, if you don't want to farm this one directly, another decent option is to use Pendle, because Pendle has now launched a bunch of different BTC Bonanza points farming opportunities. You can see that you can farm a bunch of different Bitcoin staking or Bitcoin DeFi protocols that will also give you exposure to Babylon, including Lombard, Corn, also EtherFi's Bitcoin LRT has exposure to Babylon. So this is another way that you can do this without having to stake directly with Babylon yourself. Couple of different options here. Okay, next up, in case you haven't noticed, Scroll has now actually integrated mitosis deposits. So if you've been depositing with mitosis, you've been earning Scroll marks in the background, but only recently did they actually make those visible in the Scroll dashboard. So you can go check to see how many points you've earned from farming Scroll with mitosis. Next, we have to talk about the biggest news of the last week, which is that Eigenlayer finally unlocked their token. It's now liquid, it's transferable, and it's trading on decentralized exchanges as well as a bunch of centralized exchanges like Binance. The price of the Eigen token is currently trading at around $3.40, give or take. It has dropped off a little bit, but honestly, the dump has not been as steep as we've seen with a bunch of other airdrops on day one. And with the size of Eigenlayer, given its TVL and its funding and all those other metrics, I'm not surprised that it has not dumped as violently as other airdrops. Personally, I took a little bit off the table on day one at around $4, but I'm actually still holding a pretty sizable chunk of Eigen because, yeah, I'm curious to see where this one goes. Now, on the topic of Eigen, if you receive some tokens and you don't want to sell them right away, something that you can do is actually stake those Eigen tokens. There's a couple of options for this. You can go directly to Eigenlayer and you can stake or restake your Eigen tokens with Eigenlayer. However, if you do that, there is a lockup period. But if you want to have access, liquid access to your Eigen tokens so that you can sell them at any point, but you still want to participate in the staking rewards, there's two options currently, and that is with Renzo. They launched Easy Eigen, which is a liquid staked Eigen token, and then EtherFi. Now for both of these options, you'll be earning points, but Renzo's is, in my opinion, potentially more interesting because they do auto compounding weekly. And so that means instead of having to confirm more transactions on Ethereum mainnet when you want to claim rewards, this actually auto compounds for you and the value of your stake automatically increases over time, which I do think is solid. So yeah, if you have Eigen tokens and you're not looking to immediately sell them, I think that one of these two options is a solid bet. All right, next up, let's talk about one of the biggest remaining Ethereum layer 2s that hasn't launched a token yet, and that is Linea. So this right here is a series of tweets from the product lead at Linea, and basically he's saying that end of next year, i.e. the end of 2025, is realistic to complete the whole decentralization roadmap. Now, I saw a lot of people sharing this on Twitter, talking about how the token is not launching for at least a year because of this. However, the decentralization roadmap doesn't just mean launching a token for governance purposes. There's all types of other aspects of a layer 2 that need to be decentralized to be considered fully or wholly decentralized. And if you look at L2Beat, which is a website for tracking different Ethereum L2s, you can see that they have sort of 5 different pie slices, each of which needs to be green in order for that rollup to be considered effectively and fully decentralized. So as you can see, none of the layer 2s currently have that full decentralization enabled yet. and they're suggesting maybe that Linea might be at the end of 2025 having 5 green pie slices. However, what does this mean for the actual token itself? Well, CC2 is convinced that it might happen still this year. I personally am a little bit skeptical of that because of the issue that the company that owns Linea is based in the US and the SEC is currently investigating them and going after them. So I think it will be difficult for them to launch a token in the midst of all of those issues. I think the clearest path for Linea dropping a token this year would be if there's some sort of regime change at the SEC, or at least a policy change where they become more open to crypto not being all considered securities and not suing every single crypto company based in the US. So I think if that happens, maybe around November, we could see a token drop, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we did not see a Linea token for a little while yet. I was being facetious when I said 2039, but I'm actually quite skeptical that it will be this year. Would love to be proven wrong though. All right, next up, let's talk about some Solana Alpha. For starters, if you have a Phantom wallet and you haven't claimed your username yet, you should definitely go and do that. They're rolling it out over the course of this week, but at this point, you should be able to go into your Phantom wallet and there will be a little banner that allows you to claim a unique username. Of course, someone stole Krypto Cove from me, but I managed to register at the Cove, so yeah. Another piece of Solana Alpha is staking Pyth. So you can now claim the first section of Pyth staking rewards. Let me expand this a little bit here. So yeah, I was able to claim 11.54 Pyth tokens for staking, and these rewards are going to be coming through every epoch, which is every single week. Now, when I talked about staking Pyth in my last video, I know there was a lot of people that basically are unable to access this because of geo restrictions, which definitely is unfortunate. This team has obviously locked it down because in certain jurisdictions, if you turn on the fee switch or rewards like this, then the token could be considered a security. So then they just lock people out from using it from those different countries. So depending on where you live, you may not have the option to participate in this. Of course, there are workarounds. I can't really talk about them because that kind of stuff could give me issues, legal issues. But yeah, this is what I'm still doing. And if you live in a jurisdiction where this is enabled, I think it's a decent opportunity. All right, next up in the Solana ecosystem, let's talk about dBridge. So there's two things that are going down. The first is that they're launching basically a pre-sale on the LFG Foundation where you can provide liquidity from the get-go. So depending on whether or not your wallet is eligible, it will tell you how much you can actually deposit. You're basically providing liquidity for this token on launch day. I'm not recommending that people do this. I think that, there's possibilities to make money here, but there's also possibilities to get burned. But the second part of this is going to be the airdrop. So the LFG launch deposits are going to be going live on October 15th. And then the actual tokens are going to be claimable from the airdrop on October 17th. So mark your calendar for that. All right, next, let's talk about Athena Finance. So the claim is currently live for season 2. A couple of points with this. The tokens that you get for Athena come staked in the form of SENA tokens, which means that you can either unstake them directly in the Athena portal, or you can sell those SENA tokens for something else. If you unstake them natively, there's a lockup period of 7 days. But if you go to a decentralized exchange like Jumper, you can swap SENA for something else like ENA and then swap that for something else as well. And you might take a little bit of a price impact, but you won't have to wait the 7-day lockup period. Now, the other thing with this is that Athena did implement that minimum balance requirement. And if you didn't meet the minimum balance, then you forfeited all or a portion of your airdrop. So I'm not a fan of the way they did things over there, but that is what they decided to do. I mentioned it and reminded people several times here on YouTube and in my Discord. So I hope that if you had an allocation, you did maintain that minimum balance and are able to claim and sell whatever airdrop that you got from this. Next up, this is a new piece of alpha. Union is an interoperability protocol, and they are having this sort of launch ceremony. Now, if you haven't actually gotten a special code from this, you'll have to just join the waitlist. But you can do that by going to this link here, ceremony.union.build, and then actually going through the process to join the waitlist. Now, this is not super complicated, but it does require you to actually run a client on your computer. So what I would suggest is either do this on a burner device if you're uncomfortable, or just don't do it at all. It is legit. However, I understand that certain people myself included, will be skeptical, rightfully so, of actually running clients from the internet on your computer. So I'll leave this there. You can choose whether or not you want to do it, or if you want to do it, maybe do it on a burner device. All right, next up, Cove is actually dropping their tokens soon. So the snapshot for season 1 has been taken. They've confirmed that here. 40 million Cove tokens are being dropped to users, and they have dropped a link to the actual claim page here. However, if we visit it, it doesn't actually say when it's happening. It just says coming soon. A couple more quick points. Jumper is going from monthly experience points updates to actually daily experience points updates. So now if you make swaps or bridge transactions on Jumper, you should be able to see your XP ticking up closer to in real time. Then on Jupiter, if you voted on that last active staking reward vote, the winning result was actually to fund the ASR program for another year. So basically what this means is if you keep voting with your staked Jupe tokens, you'll continue earning rewards for yet another year. Quite a lot of tokens are going into that. And finally, if you qualified for Namada tokens, this one was from way back in like December or January. And yeah, if you qualified for some tokens, you can actually choose to stake or delegate them before mainnet launch. I probably personally won't be doing this because whatever I get, I'm likely just gonna sell. But if you want to, you can choose this option here. And this is the link that you need to follow in order to do so. So that is it for today's airdrop alpha. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you found this useful and have yourself a great weekend.